Coaching changes lives. It is the opportunity to help your clients rise up to the potential that is within them. It is the opportunity for you to help your clients with their relationships, with their parenting, with their sense of self-worth, their confidence, their ability to expand their finances, to improve their health. So many things. And I get fired up when I think about what it is you bring to your clients as their coach.
Welcome to the Masterful Coach Podcast with Molly Claire. If you're a coach who's ready to impact more lives, make more money, and create a life you love, you're in exactly the right place. Get the support you deserve as a female entrepreneur, master your coaching skills, grow your ideal business, and honor your priorities in your personal life. Are you in? Let's get started with your host, best-selling author and master life and business coach, Molly Claire.
Hey, coaches. Okay, this episode is pretty exciting. It's a big deal. I am sharing with you some pretty big news about something that has been in the works for a while. So get ready to hear all about it. And by the way, before we go there, how are you? How is your summer going? You know, one of the things that I do with my clients, and in particular with my master coach training students, is before summer, we had a call to figure out what are your goals, what are you doing, what are you not doing, right? So that we can really maximize this season. And for some of you, that means taking more downtime. For some of you, that means more creation time. For some of you, it just means keeping pace with whatever you've got going. So whatever it is, I hope that this is a season that is just really full and abundant for each of you. For me in particular, as you know, I am a huge proponent of building a business that supports your ideal life. And what that means for me in the summer is that I have more flexibility. So I want to be able to be present with my kids, enjoy some extra time with them, connect with my daughter when she gets home from her dad's house in the summer. This is a big deal to me. And the other thing that I have found, and I would love for each of you to think about how this may relate to you and something you can implement in your business, is I love having no client responsibilities in the summer. Yes, this is true because for my master coach students right now, we're having continued education calls. So I attend those, I connect with them, but I have no client responsibilities, which allows me to have more rest, more recreation time, and also therefore opens the door to more creativity. My best programs, my most incredible creations within my business have happened when I have given myself this time. This time and being able to connect with bringing more out into the world is where Master Coach Training was ultimately finally birthed. It was where Create Your Killer program was birthed. And it is also what has come, what you're going to hear about in just a minute from this summer's time. So that's what I've been up to. I've been riding my bike. I've been doing some rock climbing. Those of you that do climbing, I got lead climb certified, which is super exciting. I have yet to be able to climb across the ceiling in the gym where I climb, but I'm hoping to. I'm definitely determined to do it. So I've been doing that, doing some hikes, enjoying just a little extra free time and a lot of really good focused creation time in my business, which leads us to today's episode. Are you ready, coaches? Okay. So if you're here and you have followed my story for any amount of time, you probably know a few things. I started my business 10 years ago. I started focusing on moms. I was helping moms who were overwhelmed, stressed out, taking too much on. I wrote the Happy Mom Mindset. I did my online program for moms. And by the way, let's back up just a little bit and make note that, like many of you, when I found coaching, I fell in love with it. I knew it was what I was meant to do. It felt like such a natural process for me to be a part of. And I had no idea what I was doing when it came to starting a business. and I did what we all do, and I just did it anyway, right? So I start my business at this time. Of course, I was also becoming a new single mom, uh, needing to be the breadwinner and also wanting to be really present for my kids. So I'm building this business. I'm improving my coaching skills. I'm figuring it out. And simultaneously, while I was building my business, I took every opportunity to deepen my coaching skills. And part of that meant getting my master coach training and working to train other coaches. So imagine this. Here I am building my business, right? I'm working with clients day in, day out. I'm figuring out the business stuff. It's challenging me to improve and expand my coaching in really interesting ways. And at the same time, I have this opportunity to work with many of you here listening, right? And so many coaches learning the skill of coaching, seeing where you get stuck, where you get tripped up, what concepts are challenging for you to digest and understand, and also seeing different coaching styles and how you as an individual can take any coaching model or methodology and make it your own. I was also able to have a very clear view in the gaps in coaching skills that existed. And all of this, of course, brings me to the work I do with you here today, right? Where I am helping you as a coach to be able to, of course, claim creating what you want, right? What is the life I want? What does my business need to support? For me, that meant my business needed to support a quality of life where I could be present and connected with my kids and provide for them, right? So I'm here to help you with that. And I'm here to help you be a phenomenal coach. Coaching changes lives. It is the opportunity to, to help your clients rise up to the potential that is within them. It is the opportunity for you to help your clients with their relationships, with their parenting, with their sense of self worth, their confidence, their ability to expand their finances, to improve their health. So many things. And I get fired up when I think about what it is you bring to your clients as their coach. So, all this being said, as I moved into focusing more on simply supporting coaches like you in your business and in your coaching skills, I've offered several advanced trainings. I had programs for my certified coaches where I help them with mastering their coaching. I have done advanced certification in motherhood and family life. I've created advanced trainings for other organizations as well. And this last year, I launched holistic master coach training. So if you hear about these offerings, you may notice there is something missing. They are all high level, they are all next level, they are all advanced coaching. And what is missing is a space for me to help those of you who want the fundamentals, who want that base level. And that is what is now available. I'm so thrilled to announce that this fall I am running my very first group outside of any other organization that will be certified as coaches. So, and I want to clarify who this is for, because this training is not just for people who are aspiring coaches and looking for a training, but this coach certification is for people who are potentially already in a business where you are implementing change. Maybe you have an organization business or you have a fitness business and you're trying to help people implement change, and you can tell that there are things lacking in your ability to make those changes immediate and lasting. This training is perfect for those of you that are in high level leadership. I have worked with companies and worked with their leaders to help them to be more effective in managing themselves and managing people. This training and certification is perfect for you if you are in that role. If you are also a business owner, anyone listening here who has a business or a job, an occupation, an opportunity where you are implementing change, where you are improving outcomes, where you are growing teams and relationships and leading change where you are, this training is perfect for you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. And as you're listening, I want you to think about, even if you're already a certified coach and maybe this is the last thing that you need, this episode is going to help you to think about where your current skills are and how you can maximize them. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this certification. As a leader, as a business owner, as an agent of change in any capacity, the challenge that is in front of you is that humans changing behavior takes a lot of work. It takes some intention. We know that 92% of people will fail to meet the goals that they set at the beginning of the year. 92% fail. That is a pretty high failure rate. And there are good reasons for that. And the reasons for that and understanding them are the ways that you can truly be effective at implementing change. So keep in mind that anytime we are trying to create change in ourselves or with those we're working with, that we have these kind of two sides of the coin, these two parts of the brain, right? We have our survival brain that is telling us to seek pleasure, avoid pain, conserve energy, right? The survival part of our brain that is saying changing things is a bad idea. It's going to take away from our energy. It's going to potentially create risk. We want to keep everything the same. Then we have this other part of our brain, right? Your prefrontal cortex is the strategy part of your brain, the problem solving, the intentional thinking. And we have that part of the brain that is also the center for change. This is the place where we can have new ideas, where we can think about the growth that we want to experience and actually move toward it. So if you think about it, we have these two competing parts of us, right? And so as you are helping your clients or your employees to create change, this is what you're coming up against. But the problem is that you may not realize and they may not realize why they're not creating the change. And this really is the premise of this certification that I am creating, or that I'm offering. We'll cut that part out. This is the premise of this certification that I am offering. And that is that, yes, you want to have effective action strategies and work with those that you are helping to create intentional change, right? This can be action habits. This can be a vision. This can be a plan. And you also need to understand intimately the drivers behind their behaviors, the drivers behind the change or the lack thereof, right? And so as you think about right now, take a minute to think about those you are helping to implement change, okay? And take a minute to think about, where is it that they get stuck? Where does the momentum get slowed down? Where is it that that change they were planning to implement gets sabotaged? And oftentimes we try to solve for those problems simply with another strategy or simply with accountability. And while sometimes that can be helpful, sometimes, other times, we need to understand the why behind that stuck place. And I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into this now. If you've likely heard some of this from me before on other episodes, because in this certification, you are going to have the 4 fundamentals that I talk about and teach at a high level in Master Coach training. And those are understanding the cognition, the cognitive approach to coaching. What this means is I'm going to be teaching you and I use the word basics, but I sort of hesitate to. So I'm going to say it and then I'm going to fix it. Okay. I'm going to be teaching you the basics of understanding how to do cognitive work with those you are helping. This means looking at their thought patterns, looking at their beliefs, and looking at the ways that their perspective is influencing their behaviors. Okay. Now, I say the basics, however, because I have done this work for a decade now and literally worked with thousands of coaches to help improve it. Even though I'm teaching you those fundamentals, the way I'm going to teach it to you is going to be ensuring that you are able to be highly effective with these basic skills. And that is a big deal. Um, in work in training so many level one coaches in other programs, I have seen the ways in which cognitive work can get stopped up and stuck. And that's why I'm so grateful that I get to have my own container to do this work with you, because I can bring in these little elements that are going to help you to be more effective. So, so as I said, the premise of this is understanding, okay, the drivers behind behavior, right? So as you think about the people you're trying to help create change and they get stuck, I want to help you to understand the cognition, the thoughts and beliefs behind why and where and how they are getting stuck. The other thing that you will learn in this certification is more about emotions and how they come into play for those you are trying to help. This is especially true. Think about those clients or those team members that you have worked with, and you think you're on the same page and you're trying to help them with having a better attitude, having a better mindset. Maybe you get them enthused about moving forward on their goals. And no matter how many times you think you're on the right track, it just doesn't work. Oftentimes, I won't say always, but oftentimes there is an emotion component coming up. And oftentimes, especially in high level leadership and corporations, the type of coaching and mentoring that you're learning misses out on understanding this. And so in this training, I am going to help you to understand how to recognize the signs that those you're working with are having some emotional blocks coming up, how to recognize and understand not only the signs, but also the indications of what is actually needed in those situations. And this truly can be the difference between someone being stuck and it's the same old conversation versus having an opening so they can move forward and implement change and get the results that you're really trying to help them to create. Okay. Let's talk about this third piece that I'm just going to touch on briefly. I do not go in depth in this training program. However, it is so important to understand, and that is the nervous system. So as you are, we all have a nervous system, right? This is one thing we all have in common. And we can have activation of our sympathetic nervous system or our parasympathetic nervous system. And one of the things that is a really simple yet crucial thing to understand is what are the signs that someone is having an activation of the nervous system and how is it impacting the day to day. So again, we go into this just a little bit because if this is an issue that you are missing, you are never going to be effective in helping to implement change. So, and it really is just the more you can understand this, it will even help you. And to be honest, every single, like whether it's master coach training or this level one certification, my favorite part about the work with you is helping you with you in all of this work, right? I am your coach. First and foremost, you are my client. And so I'm helping you to integrate all of this and understand it for you, and then equipping you to help others as well. Now, the fourth piece is in this certification is diving into action focused strategies. And so if you've listened to my other episodes, you know these four pieces are things I go really deep and really expansive on in master coach training. And so that's the other thing. If that appeals to you, but you haven't felt ready for it, this is like the perfect foundation for you. So when we're talking about effective action focused strategies, in my experience, when you are working with your clients, you are working with your team members, and you set a goal or you set a plan and they don't follow through, this has a pretty powerful impact on one side or the other. It can either increase someone's confidence and trust in themselves, or it can actually decrease it, reinforcing this idea that I can't follow through, that I can't make this change, that I really am a failure. And so knowing this is crucial because when you can understand that one of the most powerful things about your client or team member following through on their plan isn't actually just whatever they create this time that they follow through, but it's actually the fact that you are infusing within them the confidence in their abilities that they can create change, that they can go after those goals that they want. So think about this. You're working with a team member or a client and you're trying to help them implement change. And you work so hard and they finally implement the change. And then you've got to keep doing this, almost feeling like this babysitting situation. But what if instead you were able to understand how to consistently strategize and implement plans of action with them that built their confidence in their ability to follow through so that the amount of work that you're doing with them becomes less, becomes easier. The amount of initiative they're taking becomes greater because every time they show themselves they can improve, they realize, hey, if I could do that, maybe I could do this as well. And so you can just see that not only does this have a ripple effect with those you're working with, but it has a compounding effect, right? It continues to increase that sense of competence and confidence. And so I'm going to wrap up this episode here. And I just want to say that I want you to think about, first of all, if you are a high level leader, a business owner, an agent of change, have a service based business where you're helping people to change habits, or certainly if you are a coach, I highly recommend that you get involved with this round of certification. And I'm going to tell you why. There is an opportunity for you to have double the support, which is really exciting. So I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But if you're here listening to this and your wheels are turning and you're thinking about where you're getting stuck with those you're trying to help, where you're getting stuck personally, I want you to consider where potentially are the skill gaps that you have. And I want you to actually visualize this for just a minute. I'm going to close my eyes and do this right along with you. Listen, if you're listening to this podcast and you are moving, like walking or driving, do not close your eyes, okay? But if at all possible, take a minute to close your eyes. And I want you to just think about what it will be like when you feel totally confident in your ability to do exactly what your client or team member needs. You understand them and their blocks so well that you can easily come in and quickly be effective with them. I want you to think about what will be different when you have more emotional skills, more emotional capacity, and a greater emotional intelligence so that you're able to actually connect with your clients or team members on a personal level, where that person in front of you feels seen, feels heard, feels understood, and feels cared about. And they feel this, they experience this because you have such a depth of understanding of what they need and how to help them that it almost seems unbelievable to them that you're so great at helping them move forward. I want you to think about what's going to be easier for you when you're able to spend less time working with them and get greater results. I want you to imagine what's going to happen when your clients or team members become more self-reliant, more efficient, more capable, more proactive, when they have a better attitude, when they have greater confidence in themselves, and when you can maximize your own leadership capabilities and actually have the ability to infuse some of your leadership powerful energy into them as you truly are mentoring them to rise up. These are the things I want you to consider. I am so thrilled to be bringing this opportunity to so many of you. I know many of you are already coaches and this is not the right fit for you, but please, if you know people who want this, spread the word, because this is the part about this that really is important to me, and it just always really lights me up and connects for me at a deep level. And that is that when I am helping someone in a high leadership position and they are working with their team to improve their abilities, this goes far beyond the workplace and the money and the achievement. What is happening is that when I am working with that leader is becoming more connected with who she is and her own abilities. That leader is understanding how to unlock his ability to help those he is leading. I'm going back and forth. This is for females. This is for males. I know I talk so much to you women in my audience, and I love to help you. And this is where we're open to all, right? When I can help that high level leader, they know themselves. They know how to unlock their abilities. They know how to understand the people they're working with. And when they are able to do that, guess what? It reduces stress levels. It improves health. Guess what else it does? It improves their ability to be present with their spouse, with their kids, with their friends. It allows them to be more present in their life and have a greater sense of well-being. And everyone that they're helping in their organization has the same experience. And I genuinely just feel so passionately about this idea that when we can help people to develop themselves inside, connect with themselves, and maximize their potential, it has a ripple effect on the people around them, a ripple effect in their personal life, and spills over into every single area of their life that matters to them. All right, coaches, this is what I've got for you. If you are interested in level 1 certification, go to mollyclaire.com right now and submit your application. This program is a 3-month program. I already have 5 spots filled for the fall. Here's the awesome opportunity. As a part of this round of this certification, there will be an extra mastermind call with me every single week. We are going to meet for an hour to discuss how you're liking the material, how it's working for you, and what needs to be better, what needs to be changed. This is an opportunity for me to connect with you and understand what's lacking and actually provide it for you. So if you think about it, it's like, what an opportunity to be there and to ask me personally for what you're needing so that this can be tailor-made for you. I'll be there to answer your questions. I'll be there to give you guidance. It's going to be amazing. All right, coaches, thank you for being here with me. Next week, I have a fantastic interview for you. You will not want to miss it. And by the way, on a personal note, I am going to be hiking the Pyrenees pretty soon here. So these next episodes are pre-recorded, of course, as always, but I've got some interviews set up for you. And I am going to be seeing some pretty fantastic sights, and I will definitely tell you about it when I'm back. All right, coaches, thanks for being here. What you do as a coach matters. Make it count. I'll talk with you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Masterful Coach podcast. Are you ready to build your amazing business with Molly as your coach? Check out www.mollyclaire.com to find out about Masterful Coach Foundations and the 10K Accelerator Method. It's the ultimate support for you as a coach building your ideal life and business.